Hello, and thank you for your interest in the Professional Development Grant. Let's jump right into our agenda. So today we'll talk about what the Professional Development Grant is, what the grant support, more importantly, what the grant does not support, what the eligibility requirements look like, what is the cycle or the process for the grant from application to results. We'll do an application walkthrough. And because this is a recorded session, you can send me any questions that you have, and I can answer them via email. So let's jump in. So, what is the Student Association Professional Development Grant? So, first, this is funded by Student Association at CUNY SPS, and the grant is designed to provide financial support for anyone who wants to get involved in professional development activities or grant or career advancement activities. A student can receive up to $250 per academic year. An academic year is defined as start of fall to the end of spring. And funding needs to be approved by a subcommittee, which is comprised of students from a student association. So what is the grant support? The grant supports conference-related expenses, and this might include registration fees, accommodations, and travel. And some examples of conferences that people have gone to in the past are Abilities Expo, Student Affairs Conference, Summit by NSLS, etc. Then we have registration fees for locally based professional development workshops. So this might include some coding, public speaking workshops, leadership trainings, etc. Then we have professional association memberships. We have students who've joined the Project Management Institute, NASPA, SHRM, health services organizations, etc. And other activities, certifications in particular, are evaluated on a case-by-case basis because some certifications might be eligible for a credit waiver, and that is not allowed under this grant. Before we move forward, I want to go back to conference-related expenses. If you are going to a conference that is outside the state in which you live, then accommodations and travel can be covered. However, if you're going to a conference that in a state in which you do live, let's say you live in the Bronx and you want to travel to Brooklyn for a conference, then accommodations and travel will not be included because it's a in-state it's an in-state conference. So just keep that in mind as you explore what activities might be right for you when you use this grant. So what does a grant not support? First, we do not cover full or partial tuition. You will automatically be denied if you apply for tuition using this grant. Textbook costs, we do not cover that. Conference-related expenses, which means local travel. Like I said, we won't cover travel that is locally based. Any meals or incidentals or insurance associated with your conference. We won't cover any personal expenses, including liver costs, credit card debt, loans, legal costs, counseling costs, etc. Certificates that provide a credit waiver, like I said, some certificates provide a credit waiver. We won't cover the cost of that certificate and you will be denied. We do not cover any internships. So let's say you have an internship with the New York City Department of Education, and you don't get paid. This is not where we would offer you the grant. Please note that the grant is not active during the winter or summer sessions. So as you apply, I know that the semester tends to get busy. So as you think about whether or not you apply, just know that it's not active during the winter or summer months. And this grant does not cover anything materialistic. So if someone is applying for the grant because they have a podcast and they want to buy themselves new material for their podcast, like a mic, etc., we don't cover that. So nothing materialistic in nature. Again, this is a professional development grant. Everything needs to be professionally based. Some eligibility requirements. First is that you must be registered at CUNY SBS for the semester in which you are applying for the grant. So if you're applying for the grant in fall 25, you must be registered for classes in fall 25. You must have a minimum GPA of 2.0 for undergrad students and 2.5 for graduate students. You must be making good progress towards your degree. You must have a record of good conduct. You must not owe tuition or fees at CUNY SBS or any other college within the City University of New York. And the last one, and the most important one, I think, is you must be available for any application follow-up. So if the committee members need clarification on something in your application and we follow up with you and don't receive a response, you will be denied. So please keep an eye on your email. Please ensure to enter the correct email. What does the process and timeline look like? So it's not very long. It takes about 10 days, 10 business days to be precise. So one, you submit an application. You submit an application and you have to wait 7 to 10 business days. It must be reviewed by student association. Their subcommittee is comprised of about 5 students, and they will review your application and provide their vote. This is where we might follow up for any clarification in your application. Then you get your results. So a student life representative will contact you about your results. And what happens if you get denied? If your application is denied, you are free to submit another. Feel free to ask us for guidance. Feel free to follow everything. If following these steps in here didn't work out for you, I'm happy to meet with you directly and talk to you about what a successful application looks like. However, a lot of people do not get denied as long as they follow all of the eligibility requirements, applying for things that that the grant does support. Obviously, if you apply for something that the grant doesn't support, you are not going to get approved. But if you are denied, we don't want you to be shy. Please submit another application. We're more than happy to take another look. You're not flagged. Nobody's going to remember you and say, hey, this person submitted an application again. Let's deny them. Nobody's going to say that. So feel free to submit another application for review. If you are approved, this is where you must purchase and complete your professional development activity. So we don't provide you a $250 check. You have to purchase your activity. So if your activity costs $50, you must purchase your activity using your own funds. And then you will submit your paperwork for reimbursement. We will talk about what that paperwork looks like on the next slide. But that paperwork will come directly to me and I will submit it to the business office so they can process your reimbursement. It will be made out into a check, which will come directly to you. So what does the reimbursement process look like? So first, you must provide the original receipts from your vendor or vendors. And this, let's say you purchased a 1 month LinkedIn premium membership. The name of the vendor is LinkedIn. The total cost might be $70. It's just an estimate. I do not know the cost of LinkedIn Premium. And we want to know the type of payment method that was used. Did you use credit card? Did you use PayPal, Venmo? Did you wire the money? How did you pay? That's the first set of This is one document that must include 1, 2, and 3 items. This is just one document. Your second document is proof of payment, which is separate from your receipt. Your proof of payment can include a credit card transaction confirmation, a credit card statement, a bank statement, a canceled check, anything of that sort. Your charges must be processed. So if you provide me with your credit card statement, again, feel free to block everything else out with the exception of the LinkedIn premium charge and the total cost for it. Make sure that it is processed and not in pending status. It cannot be in pending status. So you will submit that as a secondary paperwork. So you have your receipts and now you have proof of payment. At the very end, you will submit again a write-up, 250 to 500 words, telling us about how this grant or how the activity you participated in affected your educational goals. So you're submitting three things. One, your receipts, two, your proof of payment, and three, a write-up. All three of these must be submitted at the same time in order to be processed. If it is not submitted at the same time, there will be delay in your reimbursement. So, an application walkthrough. This is the information you'll need in order to submit an application. It's very simple. The first part is that we need your personal information. We need your full name, your MPL ID. Um, if you have a preferred name, um, we urge you not to submit that. We need your legal name because when we make out your check, it will need to be tied to your legal name. So your name, your MPL, your email, phone number, mail-in address, academic program, and any past experience with the grant. We want to know how much you're requesting, the itemized amount. We want the links to the professional development activity, the type of activity, date, and organization hosting the activity. We want you to explain how the professional development activity is related to your academic program at CUNY SPS. And we want to know how will you apply what you learn to your studies at CUNY SPS or any future career. At the very end, you will sign and date. So let's walk through the application now. So this is your landing page. It tells you that the application opens today, August 26th, and where the last day to submit for the fall. As you can see, this is the fall 2025. It tells you the last day you can submit. And then it says your activity cannot be during the summer months and it must be on or before June 1st. So let's say you submit an application in October and you're like, I want to do my activity in February, you can certainly do that. But it cannot be after June 1st, which is when our fiscal year ends and we close out everything. So let's start. So we have our first name, we have our last name, we need your MPL ID. We need your email, your phone number. This is really, really important. Your check will be mailed to this address if you are approved. So if the address here is wrong, it means that your check will go to the wrong place. So please ensure that you double, triple, quadruple check that your address is correct. And of course, your first name, last name, and your email. Because if you are approved, you will not, and if you're approved and your email is incorrect, then I will not be able to send you an approval letter. And then we want your academic program. Have you been approved for the grant in the past? Let's say no. So what is the total amount that I'm requesting? This is we want you to have a very specific number. If you're applying for two activities, it's okay to use one application. Let's say I'm applying for $80. One is for a NASPA membership, and that costs $40, and NSLS, which costs $40. That adds up to 80. Whatever is here needs to add up to 80 to the amount that you request here. If I requested $250 and I itemize my things like this, that means I'm going to get denied because I cannot request an amount in more than I need or more that I've outlined in the itemized request. The itemized request is also very important because we want to know what are you using this $250 for? Is it one activity? Is it five activities? There was a student who applied for 5 museum memberships because she was a museum studies major. We want to know what museum memberships there are. Itemize everything in this area and ensure that the math adds here. If it does not, you will be denied. So let's say I did that. I want the links, so I will go and find the NASPA link. So I may find a NASPA link and just link it here. This link must show the membership cost. So it must show the membership cost. Like here, obviously mine is actually this, oh, I'm correct. So we need to see the membership cost. We don't want just the NASPA landing page. We want to know the cost. Like this doesn't work for us. This doesn't tell us the cost. Now we have to go search for it. The committee does not want to do more work than they need to do. If they have to put in the effort to find the cost of your membership, they will deny the request. So please provide the accurate link of the cost of your membership. Let's assume I only put this and I do not put NSLS. It is likely that I'll get approved for the NASPA membership and be denied the NSLS membership because I did not include it in the application. So we might say this is other. So actually, this is professional organization membership. Both of these are professional organizations, and that's what I've indicated here. What is the date of your activity? It must be 10 business days in the future. So that's 3. So I'm going to say, I don't really care when it is, as long as it's approved. I'm going to say September 19th, who's hosting this, NSLS, and NASPA. Online, because these are memberships. I'll say these are memberships, um, not physical activities. And then I'll enter um, my my responses to this question and this question, and I will sign here, and I will date today's date, and then I will submit. It is a very straightforward process. We want you to pay attention to how much you're requesting, the itemized amount that you're requesting, ensuring that the links are accurate. These things do matter. They are reviewed by the grant committee, and they do pay attention. They will click on every link and they will ensure that it is working. If the link is not working, they will notify me directly, and I will have to tell you that your application is pending, is in pending status until you correct the link. Let's go back to our presentation now. We're almost at the end. So these are some things to keep in mind again. The maximum amount that you can be awarded in one academic year, again, start of fall to end of spring, is $250. We do not backdate any payments. You must be approved before you purchase any professional development activity. Let's say you decide to go and say, I'm going to purchase this LinkedIn membership, and then I'm going to apply for the grant. We will not give you a reimbursement for that because you have not been approved by us in order to make the purchase. We do not cover any tuition-based activities within CUNY SPS. The grant is not active during the summer or winter sessions. If your application is denied, you can always resubmit. And if you apply for X, you can't purchase Y. I forgot to mention this. But what does this mean? If Susan applied for a LinkedIn premium membership and Susan gets approved, and Susan decides, well, I no longer want a LinkedIn premium membership. I find that I will benefit more from Coursera because their courses have more weight to it on my resume and LinkedIn. And she changes her mind. She's like, okay, I'm going to purchase Coursera. She will not get a reimbursement because she did not notify us. She did not resubmit a new application. You cannot change your mind in between. If you do, you must notify us. You must submit a new application. If you decide I no longer want the LinkedIn premium membership, that's fine. Just submit a new application and let us know that you will no longer be utilizing the grant for the LinkedIn membership and you want a Coursera membership instead. Otherwise, your reimbursement will not be granted to you. And please ensure that you provide accurate calculations of everything that you submit. Again, I've mentioned this before. These are just some scenarios. Again, Angel applied for $250 for a premium LinkedIn, um, and she no longer wanted the membership, and she decided to purchase a Coursera membership instead. Angel is denied a reimbursement for not notified and notifying our office. Another scenario is this student, Andy, submits an application for a membership that cost $150. Andy is approved to make this purchase, but Andy submits their documentation paperwork, but the total cost that they spent was 165 because they did not include taxes and fees into their calculation. Now, Andy will only be reimbursed $150, which was the amount that they were awarded. So please also keep that in mind. If you want to build out your cart, do that and send that screenshot as well if you would like to. The last part is Marilyn applied for $200 for a 3-month LinkedIn membership. But Marilyn only spent $189. Marilyn will only be reimbursed for what was spent, not for the overall awarded amount. So please also keep that in mind. So in this scenario, this student got a discount um, from what they were doing. This is a real scenario. The name has been changed, but they got a discount on the LinkedIn membership through a service, and they were able to, they applied for $200. But they got that discount and they paid 189. So they were only reimbursed for the 189. So these are some small scenarios that you need to keep in mind when you submit, when you apply and you get approved. That is everything. If you have any questions for me, please let me know. This is my email at the very bottom right-hand corner. My name is Reshma Jai Goben. I'm the Student Development and Leadership Coordinator in the Office of Student Life. Thank you so much, and I hope that you apply for the grant.